Welcome to JoeFest 2025. We have the Bad Buddies Studios panel with Harvatine and
Thank you,
Seth.
students. I hope everybody did their homework. Pop quiz, sports fans. How many people does it take to alert the fire marshal?
Sure, Mike. Harv wants to be over here. Do you want me to mess with the computer? Do you know how to work this computer? Are you sure? Hold on a second. We have 3 mics?
Getting feedback.
All right, here we go. If we cross these, though, this is already going to
Okay, Seth, how we doing?
AV problems. I feel like
We got some space in the middle
I feel
here.
like these chairs are shorter than everybody's perspective, so.
Oh, hi.
What's up, gang? Welcome to JoeFest.
All right, this is a pretty good looking group. You were wrong.
I think I'm gonna spend a bit of time just like getting comfortable. Is this so who's here for the first time? Oh. Who's here for the second or third time? There we are, guys. Good to see you again. My name is Seth Green. This is John Harvatine the fourth.
Hello.
We are co-owners of an animation and production studio in Los Angeles called Stoopid Studios. We make things like Robot Chicken and Crossing Swords. We make Titan Maximum and Supermansion, ODOC, a bunch of fun stuff. We have come here because Harv and I both love G.I.Joe. And we also love O-ring format and 4-inch and under action figures.
Yeah, this is our favorite destination all year. We look forward to this. We circle the calendar, and it's a really big deal for us. So we're so excited to be here.
Harv is terribly shy and admittedly socially awkward.
Seth is also not shy. We're a little bit opposite.
Buddy, I'm the extrovert. But the things you should know about Harv is he is an incredible toy photographer. He actually has a photo in the contest downstairs based on a not so secret project that we have all been working on for a minute. You probably know, Matt, aren't you supposed to be on this panel?
Yeah, here it comes.
You know what? I gotta say it.
Matthew LaCroix, everybody.
Everybody knows Matt LaCroix. Hometown hero, G.I.Joe super maker. So I met Matt because of the Strike Force. I bought all those figures through the Big Bad shop. And I was like, oh, look at this guy making brand new O-ring stuff. And we talked about this a bit because you made such specific improvements to the format with the wrist, also the materials, soft but still very firm materials, so it all held its friction, the boots, the neck improvements. I was like, oh, this guy's doing good stuff. So we actually got together about a project that we're working on at SBS called the Cleanup Crew, which is, I think we've already got fans. But this is an animated pitch. We actually haven't even taken it out yet because we're still trying to look at the possibilities of private funding. Making TV these days is terrible. It's really not a lot of fun for creators right now. I'm not going to give you guys a lecture on corporate consumption or the end game of capitalism. Just to say that we're making our own stuff. And that's probably what we should start with, right? Like, we have Cleanup Crew loaded up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we showed this last year. LaCroix built all the toys for it. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is a show that we're gonna make. What if we? Oh, do you guys want to see it?
Yeah.
It's only like 2.5 minutes long. So maybe what we do, we'll turn out these lights. Yeah. Don't anybody get weird in the dark, all right?
No promises.
I know this is a borderline R-rated event, but there's still a lot of kids here, so be cool. Also, if your kids are in the audience, they're going to learn some new language. Be advised. Can you guys see all right? Okay.
But let's play it then.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Whoops, I moved it.
That doesn't add up. The victim is so boring. The most exciting thing about him is his framed poster of the band Train.
He's like if the band's clean came to life.
And yet someone was still angry enough to mail him a bomb. So, you hungry? Hope you brought your umbrella.
Fucking pigs, blue chunks all over the place.
They treat us like goddamn janitors, minus the job stability, pension, and health benefits.
Hey, my guys don't care about shit like health, Olivia.
I offer better perks, like second dibs on any blood-stained appliances found at crime scenes.
Speaking of which,
Dibs.
There's no blood on that computer, Dusty.
Guess we're gonna have to dispose of it now.
Wait, that sticker on the cover, it's a pair of novels. The victim must have been into NFTs.
Oh, aren't we all?
There's a lot of money in NFTs, and where there's money, there's motive.
We're not here to investigate a murder. We're here to clean one.
I don't see why we can't do both.
Because we're not being paid to do both. No clean, no green.
I hope you slip on a dick.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Sorry I'm late. I was drinking milk and I must have got lost in the milk.
Milk, that's creepy. Ugh, milk.
What's wrong with milk? I love milk.
Gross, you love milk?
I won't apologize for loving milk.
Stop saying milk. Habitat, do you think you can get us into the victim's computer?
It's got a biometric lock. I can't get in without a fingerprint.
Take your pick.
Oh, looks like our guy was big in the nouns community. He'd been delegated over 50 of these old fellows.
Some sort of schoolhouse rock type of deal.
What proposals was the victim voting on?
Nouns community garden, outfitting 747s with wind-resistant marble.
Wait, a few days before he died, the victim used his delegation to block a fork.
man, stick his cigar with a block of shit in that.
Fucking arbitragers. The victim blew up their payday, so they blew him up.
You say some cartoon cool guys killed him over cutlery?
Now all we have to do is find out who was behind the fork.
I thought you guys were here to clean.
We are. We just took a quick break to solve your case, birthday.
Actually, my name's Kevin, and I grew up because I have Crohn's disease.
You're doing a great job, Ken.
Yeah.
Bring those lights back up.
Yeah. It was harder than we thought. 2 different switches. We blew a fuse, somebody's plugged in the wall. So that's cleanup crew, and that's, I don't know guys, like I said, it's getting less and less interesting to make things for conventional television. So we may even put this on YouTube, we'll see how that goes. But it's, I don't know, we like the idea, making a show like Robot Chicken, we just like the way certain things look on camera. And the idea of doing a show that's all this format of puppet without anybody on the show ever really talking about it, I think is very funny. And then you can use all of the inherent limitations of the format for comedic purposes, whether or not the characters themselves are ever going to work. I just thought that was fun. Would you have a easy time building those puppets for us?
No. And I had to do multiples of each character, which was very tricky, you know, with the Hawaiian shirt look on Dusty and everything like that. So I would bounce back with Seth and I'd be like, okay, I like Olivia, but make her eyes like a sparkly emerald green. And I'm like,
brighter green.
Okay.
Need to put that little glint in the top. Yeah, this hair is a little still. We need more clear to the shoulders. Can't help but notice this jacket, so you gotta have more movement around it. There's all that kind of stuff. How different is that from regular customers? Do you ever get that many notes on commissions?
No. I mean, I've got some picky customers out there, but this was, I had to be on my A game the whole time.
Well, there's the requirements, and then you see how close up you literally see everything. But we like a little bit of that. Harv and I will leave thumbprints on the faces of characters. Just because, I don't know, you see it, your eye when it sees a real photograph, it can tell the difference. We let some of those imperfections slide. Yeah. Do you want to talk about, well, I'll tell you, but don't, everybody's already recording it. Okay, So we made a sketch on Robot Chicken about a guy who joins G.I. Joe, and it doesn't go well for him. I think we have that sketch, right?
Right here.
So what would probably work best is if we show this to you for context, and then we talk about what else was happening. Yeah, get these lights out. Let's get weird.
Done to kill the shot.
All right, here we go, guys.
Attention, Joes! I'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Calvin. Welcome to the team, Calvin.
Bring the lights out. So, as you can imagine, a very divisive sketch. But because we're into toys, we wound up having like a 2-year-long conversation with Hasbro about whether or not they were going to make a San Diego exclusive of Fumbles. Because we'd had some success with this. We did a Robot Chicken Masters of the Universe set with Mattel, where we did Molar, the attorney and dentist. It's based on a sketch from Michael Ian Black. And they made a set that had a Skeletor with a missing tooth. So we go to Hasbro, we're like, look at this. They did, 10,000 SKUs, San Diego, it's an exclusive. We signed them all. Look at this. And they're like, okay, maybe Fumbles. And so they got as far as like mock-ups, like what the card would look like. And then we're having meetings with them, and like one of their heads of whatever comes in, it's like, I felt like it was important to tell you this to your face, because it's gone on so long, but we can't do this. And we're like, why not? And they go, well, your character's a murderer. Like arguably a serial killer. And we just really feel like the 5,000 or 10,000 SKUs, that limited goodwill amongst your super core fans just couldn't justify the inevitable forever of protests we endure by having manufactured this assassin as a children's toy. I was like, I get that. That tracks. So then the point was like, well, what if we just didn't tell him? And I was like, well, you'd have to make less than 100, and we wouldn't be able to talk about it until after it's over. And then we could be like, oh, look at this bootleg, wasn't that cool? And they might even send you a cease and desist, but you're like, I did.
It's over.
I did. Desisted. It's done. Sorry. Those are already sold. I don't have to go get them back, right? No, everybody's cool. So there exist about 40 of these things that Matt made. They're really awesome. Do we have one up there?
Yep. Here they are.
So this is what you get from being overachievers. Overachievers, right? I thought we were gonna get an action figure. LaCroix calls me all through the year and he's like, I built him a glider. I'm like, what? It's like, we're doing a super pack with a glider. Oh yeah, we signed all of these too, just to, make it official.
So Anthony over here, my buddy, he did all the gliders. So
everybody knows Anthony. There's no one's anonymous at this con.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah.
There was also one with a surfboard, but I think those all got sold out.
Those didn't last long.
Of course not.
So yeah, it shouldn't be up here. I don't know. It's crazy. But I do have to. I do have a special gift for somebody. If Ed Schumacher's in here, Ed.
He's probably still running the booth. Oh, there it is!
Come on up, buddy. So Ed, you got the only one that we made that LaCroix made in the color orange here.
Oh, that's the exclusive.
Thank you for and obviously a big round of applause for Ed. None of this happens without Ed. So thank you. Yeah.
We had to do a raffle. There has to be a lottery, guys. There's so few of these that not everybody can get one. And so what we've devised is some kind of ticketed system, is that correct?
Yeah, so we have 40 of them. Everybody who is interested, raise your hand. We're gonna have to hand out tickets.
Shit, I think there's more than 40 just in here. All right, this is definitely gonna be a ticket thing.
Yeah. And after, if your number is called, you'll have to come down to our booth, number 19, and pick up your toy and give us money. I did want to say the back of the package, you'll find a lot of little Easter eggs me and Matt came up with here. The list of the...
See, this is another reason that happens. They're like, well, he's literally got a kill list, and I was
avoiding that word, man.
I feel like these are bad ideas to...
Select the targets. Select the targets. Selected targets.
Selected targets. Oh, there we go. That's the Top Gun lingo.
I was going to go with those who have been fumbled. And this QR code on the back, everyone was super impressed by that for some reason. It's super easy technology. Anyway, it brings you right to the YouTube video.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you guys for letting me have you out.
Of course. That's what it is. We love monologuing, but we should probably just let you ask questions. People have questions? Does anybody have questions? Something you want to know? Something you want to hear about? Something you want to say? Oh my God, this is straight up Chuckles back there. What's up, dude? Nobody cosplays Chuckles. I love seeing that.
So if you have a question, stand up so we can see who you are and we can address you that way.
I see her. Over there in the scarlet shirt. What's up?
Hey, what's going on again, Mr. Green?
Oh, hey, how's it going? What's your name?
I'm Cody.
Cody.
We took a picture together last year because of this shirt, so I ordered it.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds like me.
So, everybody likes to talk about their projects. What's your favorite cleanup crew character?
Well, I love Dusty, obviously. Super interested in him. It's very funny. What we've determined is there's things he's really good at, and then he's got the biggest blind spots of any action hero you've ever met. But we have a whole menagerie of people. The cleanup crew is going to be sort of like Mask, where you got Matt Tracker at the top of it, and then whatever the assignment is, he's like, I'm going to need Bruce Sato on this one, you know? It's going to be like that. So the cleanup crew is Dusty and Olivia, and then whoever else they bring in. There's all these different specialists, of course.
For this week, right?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people that can't get other jobs that Dusty's like, I'll throw you a couple of bits. I'll throw you some dollars. You can run and bust down that wall. You can run through concrete, right? That's worth $25. Thank you. There's another, that fellow.
My Instagram name is Inhale Arts, and I like to do stop motion animation. I was wondering if you shot your figures of still to make it easier to do stop motion.
No. No, part of the, but that definitely is like an option, making bigger puppets just so you can get better photography on it. But sometimes we really challenge the miniature team that we have to make stuff that's photographable that way. The main reason behind it is because you can make your sets infinitely smaller. And when you only have so much warehouse space to set up as many tabletops as you can, sometimes the scale of your set, you're backed into a corner. But especially with the Joe figures, we would try to shoot them as raw as possible, and I kept challenging our animators. You can see even in the Fumble skits, they're better at it, but the puppets still have all these big rigs, like they shattered them to make rigs inside of them. And I don't know, when we did the Cobra office, we just used raw figures and put like sticky wax in the whole position. I think it works better. It's funny, it's more funny visually when the characters are sort of aware of their own mobility limitations. I think that's fun. But there's what's the Recall, Operation Recall. I think they're gonna release their 2-ups as well.
Another question, Sierra?
Yes, miss? What do you?
Howard, since you directed the entirety of Cleanup Crew, can you talk about what that was like?
Well, sure. Yeah.
What were the challenges you had to endure while directing the cleanup crew?
Yeah, challenge. Well, you know what? It's actually a little bit of what you were just talking about. I also really love the smaller scale. I think it's really fun to shoot things that have limits and you can't necessarily go really big with them. So I think the challenge is having the animators work with just really small figures and having them emote. And one little move and it just goes there and they have to pull it back. And so it kind of slows them down a little bit. Lighting is a little bit of a challenge too because the space is so small, so we got to get in there a little bit tighter. When we do Robot Chicken, the figures are much bigger. What's that? 8 inches? Yeah. So this is a smaller scale, but then like Seth is saying, the sets are much bigger, or the sets are smaller, so we can expand a little bit, which is nice. So
you really pushed for cinematic lenses and lighting.
Yeah.
We were talking about making it look procedural. We all love stuff like CSI and very procedural shows.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, what if we shoot this with the lens flares? And
so the fun on it, yeah,
you see Dusty and his little ball head. And
it's a really dramatic background. Yeah. So the background's really dramatic, and then a lot of the blood kind of felt real. So with the characters, it feel really silly. So that's the kind of contrast we're going for.
Did you find anything particularly challenging?
Well, I don't want to say the puppets were challenging because LaCroix made them, but
it was though.
No, they're challenging because they're O-ring and they're really small. So I think working on such a small thing with the puppets is a little bit harder. But
all your tooling is strong. We didn't have like all the O-ring, the hip system, everything stayed. Yeah, they hold their pose. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Any questions? Any other questions back there? Gentleman in front.
How long from concept to filming it all to editing does a typical clip take?
That just depends, really. I mean, cause like when we're working on Robot Chicken, we'll do 5 episodes at a time. So you're breaking like 80, 100 sketches at a time, and then you put them all up on stages, and they sort of take that amount of time. So it takes with Cleanup Crew. We started talking about this thing. It's at least 2 years ago. We started talking about it, taking pictures and stuff, and then we were already talking about it before JoeFest last year. So how long is that? I don't know. It takes a while. It depends how ambitious your schedule really is. The shortest, it takes like 6 months. That sounds about reasonable. 6 months, right? If we were really flying and we had come on with the designs and the scripts and the boards and the record, we'd had 6 months by the time we're done.
Yeah, and then on stage, we probably were shooting it for maybe it was a month or so.
Yeah.
Because we do about 10 seconds a day on a good day.
So even at this particular iteration, we could say it was like 7. Right from the time we started building this piece with an actual budget, it's about 7 months. That's fair.
That woman over there in the corner.
Hi, you have a really recognizable voice no matter what you do. Do you have any advice for someone who is trying to go into voice acting?
Don't quit. That's really the truth. Like, to be a good voice actor, you gotta start by being a good actor. So like, study acting a little bit. Make sure that you know how to emote genuinely without feeling like you're pushing. But voice acting professionally, it's so, everything is so hard to break into. But you know where I'm seeing a lot of success is people just doing their own stuff, right? So if you're on YouTube, if you're on the internet, gaming your own kind of, do your thing. That's all anybody's looking for. That's the truth. Nobody's out there going, who can do the thing that's already being done, right? So I hear people pitch me voices that have already become popular. I'm like, unless you're gonna try and pick up the legacy Bugs Bunny job, there's no reason for you to work this, unless it's helping you develop your own instrument. But there's, today, now more than ever, you showing people how you want to be seen is your best path. Because you show people and they'll either dig it or they won't. And that's kind of the hard rules of the game, is they're either going to dig it or they won't. You step out on stage, you're like, this is my thing. Some people are going to be like, I dig that. Somebody else will be like, you're terrible! Why would you do this? You know what I mean? And you got to be able to take both ends of that. That's my advice. Don't quit. Get out there and do your thing. Find people that want to do it too, and don't listen to anybody else that says you can't. Oh, look at me, I found these guys. I was like, let's make a show about action figures. And they're like, I'll help. Yeah, what's happening, man?
What happened with the Scott Evil character in Nirvana? Why did they make you change the shirt?
You talking about the McFarlane toys?
Yeah, the Scott Evil shirt has.
I think that was I think that, so we got clearance to use the shirt in the movie.
Right.
And I don't know if McFarlane signed whatever the deal was. I don't know if they sold the licensing, but they never intended to show like a crisp picture shirt. Right. But there's like 4 different variants on that toy because of the necklace. The first necklace had a gun. And they thought it was, somebody at McFarlane thought it was in bad taste to have the gun over a Kurt Cobain shirt. I wore it in the movie, guys, and I was the biggest advocate. They wanted to do a shirt, in the movie they had the dates, like his birth and death dates. I go, I'm never gonna wear this. I'm never gonna wear this. The kid who likes Nirvana is just wearing the Kurt shirt. And he's like, yeah, he's dead, deal with it. He's not gonna, and then, I don't know. The answer is, I don't know. I'm sure it's some business affairs guy who's like shitting his pants after pressing something went out, afraid that Courtney's gonna sue him. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody called me. But I have all the different versions of it. I still have too many of them in a box.
That gentleman right there.
I think the highest I've seen that go for is like $30 and it's autographed.
Was Fumbles the figure in the show? What was that? Frankenstein? Was that a
Yeah, we put this, was it the Modern? It's like the 25th anniversary torpedo. I think it's repainted. And that was what they were pitching us at Hasbro too. They're like, oh, we got all this tooling. I was like, great, let's do it. They're like, just the problem that this guy's a serial murderer. That does sound prohibitive.
This gentleman in the front in blue.
I've been bouncing back and forth between 2 questions. In honor of Fumbles, I'm just curious, if you guys were in G.I. Joe, what would your code names be? And what would you choose for your specialties? And you can't pick Fumbles.
No. The name is Small Fry. I've got a bunch of electrical charge and flame weapons.
So he's a cook.
So I'm, the cook, right? I'm back there peeling potatoes. I'll give you the crispiest sides you've ever had.
Roadblock.
What do you got, buddy? What do you got? Why can't rhyme as good as Roadblock?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess it'd be nice to be like invisible or something like that. So maybe it's Casper, but spelled legally different. So I can
get like your code name is Casper, but somehow you got the mythical ability to become invisible.
Get a sheet on or something, you just disappear, you fly or
you swing around the military blanket. The Harry Potter blanket.
Yeah, and there's a smell to it, so it's not like perfect.
You're getting everybody less interested. Really, people were very behind you, and then you start talking about.
Okay, we'll
stop there. You're way off topic. What you got? I do like Casper though. That's fun. Casper and he's the infiltration guy.
Yeah.
My code name is Scorched Luau. The rest is classified.
I heard he buried a man and cooked him underground.
Gentleman over there in the black hat.
2 things. One, the giraffe bit.
Yeah.
Is one of the most unhourably funny things I have ever seen.
Thanks, man.
You were a genius.
Tell all your friends.
Growing up, watching Family, I probably should have been. Chris Griffin.
How old are you now?
18. Chris Griffin is what I thought the epitome of a teenager should be.
Sure.
And so I kind of based my life around that.
Uh-oh. You should not take advice from that character. What?
I figured out it was mostly satire.
Right. Well, you're 18. That's when you start discovering that stuff.
It's an honor to meet you, and I love what you do.
Thanks, buddy. Don't listen to anything that I ever said. Don't emulate anything I ever did. Keep your girlfriend, your sister wants you to know that that's not the safest linear pursuit.
Uh-oh, she stole your hat. Wait, which one's older, which one's younger? She
turned 21.
Turned 21. Okay, so we've been rotting your brain for longer. You got some catching up to do, homie.
Wait, you said you had 2 questions, that you were back and forth between 2 questions.
Oh, yeah.
What was the second question?
The second question was there ever a bit that you all pitched for Robot Chicken where standards and practices said, no, this is just too much?
Probably can't. You got an assassin serial killer.
It was never like, this is too much. The only time that, and it was never SMP, it was always Lazo. He'd be like, this isn't funny.
Okay.
It's not funny. And we're like, yeah, right, you're right.
I should also tell you, the Black Stallion skit.
Yeah.
I quote that one at work all the time, and my coworkers love it because I use the most. I'm a web designer, and one time they were talking about, okay, we're doing this new site, and I feel like we need to go with something brighter because these dark colors just aren't working. Racist.
What do you mean these dark colors ain't working?
Exactly. Yes, I do it all the time.
That's my old buddy Eugene. Eugene Bird did that voice the best, kid.
Racist.
We're gonna go way back there. Gentleman in the teal shirt.
Don't let anybody miscolor you. I put that at aqua. Good, how you doing? All right.
Detours. Are we gonna see any more detours? See detours at all?
Nah.
That's a short answer.
I mean, this is probably the truth. So, what even year was that? 2009. So, 2009, my partner Matt Sandranch and I had spent about 4 years developing a half-hour animated comedy series based in the Star Wars universe with George Lucas around the same time that the Clone Wars cartoon was finishing up. And the plan was, you just have to understand, George Lucas, everything that you've ever seen from Star Wars, George Lucas paid for. So like at some point, yeah, he got to keep all the money that they made, but he paid for it. So at some point, he's like, all right, what is that? It's 5, 16. Right, there's $40 million. Let's do this. And so that's what he did until he sold the company to Disney for $4 billion and was also able to participate in all of their rapidly growing and accumulating stock profile because it became Disney stock. Disney purchased everything, Marvel, Fox, Studios included. So George is very smart, made a ton of money in his life. But he wanted to do something funny. He was like, they hadn't made this decision to sell the studio, they hadn't made the decision to make new movies. He was like, let's just do this. And so we did. And then we didn't sell it to anybody. We were talking about, maybe it goes to Fox, maybe it's Cartoon Network. And then he was like, I'm gonna sell this company. Let's just make more movies. So that's the answer. Everything that we really did, sort of the same with the Underworld project. They developed an hour-long show. They wrote 62 scripts for it. They didn't have episodes produced like we did. We had 39 broadcast finished episodes. There's like 60-some animatics. There was a couple of episodes that were pretty far along and just never get finished. And that's kind of what it is. All of the creative got folded into a lot of what's become the Lego Star Wars. So like, and you sort of understand it, right? The conversation I was lucky enough to have with Kathleen Kennedy, because she was the steward of the brand moving into the Disney purchase. And we were talking about what you do in the interim before there's new Star Wars, right? So this is the period of time, 3 full years before Force Awakens is gonna come out. And she's like, we could put out this deconstructive animated series which showcases all of these characters in this novel light through a parodic lens. Or we can let kids be introduced to the specter of Darth Vader in 3 years, looming as large as the fall of Stalin, right? And it's hard to think about Darth Vader being Hitler when you got him anticing on roller skates in a Life Day sweater. So, you get it. You get it. It's kind of just where it went. And I doubt it. I really doubt that it'll get released. Just because it feels out of place. Like, everything that we did was all meant, it's all designed to be perennial. But a lot of the jokes that we made then have been made now in other shapes. Like because the timeline where the show takes place, we had Leia as like a 13-year-old, and she's a nightmare. She's famous, she's got so much money, she's constantly making Bail Organa suffer for it. Just, you're not my real dad. She's got decoys, all the decoys, they're terrible. We had her like somewhere between Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan in the show. And I could see it. There was something Kathy wasn't telling me. And I figured it out when I saw the Obi-Wan show. I'm like, oh, you got 13-year-old Leia in here. And if we had spent the last 3 years with her being like, this Obi-Wan guy is kind of a creep. It wouldn't have worked as well. So I think that's really it. I just think it's, and also there's almost too much pressure on it, right? Because this is the last TV that George is personally responsible for creating. And I just think there's too much pressure on the release of it for them to want to have that be the thing. I don't know. I'm not in there at that level, guys. I luckily am not saddled with those major high-level multinational supercorp decisions that affect everything from pharmaceuticals to electronics. I'm just making these TV things.
Seth, a quick question. Did George like it? Was he a fan of it, or did he hate it?
Yeah, one of my greatest honors is that we spent the last 4 years of that guy's professional career making him laugh every day. Every day. Yeah. Yeah, so if nobody ever sees the show, guys, you cannot take away the fulfillment of one of my greatest childhood dreams.
All right, gentlemen, way back there in the blue shirt. You, yes.
I was going to ask you about detours, but instead I want to ask, how does it come about approaching George? Be like, we want to film you just going off on Mara Jade.
This is the good. So you might not. There's a clip on YouTube of George Lucas triple smacking writer Zeb Wells across the face. Zeb Wells, you might know as the third credited director of Deadpool Wolverine. No big deal. When I say that we assembled an all-star crew to write that show, we really did. Like, there was a lot of very smart, talented people in that room. So, for like 3 straight years, about 3 times a year, we would have 2-week conferences up at Skywalker Ranch, and we would spend all that time working with George and breaking these episodes. And then we would all go away and write the scripts, to look over the scripts, but we had those 2 weeks of just ideating. And the first time we did it, I was like, hey George, everybody wants to take a picture with you. And he's like, So we all go outside on a veranda and we look like a soccer team. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna get down like this and at least make this picture interesting. And so the next cycle comes through, and like, George, everybody wants to take a picture. And he's like, all right, well, you know the drill. Go up by the fountain. And everybody's like, picture. And I was like, well, I'm gonna get down here like we just won the championship. And so the next cycle comes around, and I go, George, listen, everybody, the first day, I go, George, everybody's gonna want to take a picture with you at the end. And he's like, here's my pitch. Instead of one picture at the end with everybody, let's take one solo picture a day with each one of these writers so that they can pick a pose. How do you feel about that? He's like, yeah. This is what I discovered about George. You gotta ask him. You gotta ask him shit. Everybody's terrified. And he doesn't want to know, like, what are you with this Kyber crystal? Is it different? You just can't. He don't want to talk about any of that. But if you're like, hey man, can we do a pose like when Kennedy looking out the window, like? And he's like, yeah. We wanted to do, this is how cool he is. We wanted to, one of my buddies is like, I want to take a picture with you like we're playing chess on it. And he goes, come upstairs. Takes us up to his office. where he has the actual deject table from the movie, all the original stop-mo puppets on it. I got a picture of him and my buddy just like they're both playing it. So that's how that happened. We would just ask him stuff, and we started having a conversation about like who's in the show? Who's in the show? Who we put in the show? Like which point in the timeline is this? Who's in the show? We're like, well, you know, Luke's got that girlfriend, and George is like, dude, Luke Skywalker doesn't have a girlfriend. We're like, no, the EU, the whole Mara Jade thing. He goes, no, that's not real.
Oh boy.
And I was like, what are you talking about? There's not, and he goes, this is a Jedi. No attachments. No attachments. No Jedi has attachments. Luke doesn't get married. That's just not real. And I was like, so you think that Luke never evolves beyond that idea? He always adheres to this old, very didactic sort of theology. And he's like, at least in the way he lives. This is not direct quotes, it's like 10 years ago, but it was really like, that's just not a thing. Luke Skywalker's a Jedi, remains a Jedi, he's not gonna get married. He's not gonna get married, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And so then we were like, can we do a bit? Can we do a bit? Can we just have this guy? Will you just yell Zeb out of the room? Yell him out of the room, and he's like, yeah, all right. So then we shot this bit. And we get it right, and nobody expected the slap. That's what's so great. I mean, you see me almost fucking break. I'm like, oh my God. I turn away from camera, I'm like, sorry, George, I don't know how that. Because Seth gets in there, and he just triple smacks him, but it's so fast, too. The man is fast. And Seth shoves him out the door, the electric door closes. It's the best. I love that stuff. You know why I'm most proud of those kinds of things? Because I've had a generation of kids tell me that they figured out that George Lucas has a sense of humor, right? The way he's presented is so beyond, like he's not a real man, like he doesn't laugh at stuff, he doesn't have a pair of house slippers or something. And we love getting to show that, getting him to play, celebrate all this stuff the same way. It's just overwhelming, right? It's very hard to relate to the idea of being a single individual who is like, as iconic as George. And I had this realization like that, because I'd met him like 7 times before he ever remembered. And I figured out that I had to make a better approach. Because every time I approached him, I was like, will you sign the brim of my hat? We were never gonna talk. He wasn't trying to talk to me. So, but that's how that happened. We just had him alone for years. And eventually we wore him down and got him to do very silly things with us.
So we don't have much time left. I'll ask one more question. Who wants the last question? All right, you got the last one.
In the back there? Oh wait, in the front? It looks like there's gonna be 2 questions. Who's in the back? What do you got?
2 young ladies back there, go ahead.
Hope so. Hope so. It's one of the proudest things I've ever done. I've loved that character my entire life. Never even fantasized that I'd get to play it. It's the best. I love it. Yeah, I love you too, sweetheart. Get home, do your homework or whatever.
So I think that's going to be it for...
oh, wait, I fucked this guy out of his question.
Was there any role that you were offered, you turned down, you later regretted?
Regretted? No. No, I turned down all kinds of stuff. You gotta make your own career.
I remember you said my stepmother's an alien, so I've been following your career for a while.
My stepmother's an alien. I auditioned for that. This is the truth. How few things I get offered. That's the other thing. Don't expect an offer. Go in there and audition because they don't know what you can do. They're like, I think you do this. You're like, fuck you, I do this. Right on, gang. What are we gonna do? We have a plan. We're gonna throw one of these gliders off the stairs. But this guy's got something. What?
No, he was pointing at me.
Oh, the gliders. Oh, the tickets. Did everybody get tickets?
That's what we're getting at.
Let's do it. How do we do the tickets?
We just stand here and catch his mouth.
So we're just vamping in the meantime? Oh, I see. This makes a plan. All right, we're gonna sneak out and get onto that platform where we can throw these gliders off of the thing. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate the opportunity to gather.
JoeFest.
with other enthusiasts. We'll see you next JoeFest, or we'll see you on the floor.